Today we're going to be trying out Good Day brand pasta, 24 grams of carbohydrate, 24 grams of protein. This is not a gluten-free product, but it contains 190 calories and some potassium, about 360 milligrams. So we're going to see how this will work for a variety of backpacking meals. We're just going to use the Instant Pot and put your noodles in there. We're going to be using Pacific Foods chicken broth, and just make sure that your pasta is completely covered, because if you leave noodles uncovered, you're going to end up with different crunchiness of the noodles. The ones outside the water are going to be more crunchy. So we've topped off the noodles here. We'll make sure to push down a few of those that are poking out of the liquid, and then we're going to get it turned on to cook. We'll be doing 2 batches today to make sure we can fill up the freeze dryer, and we're going to be adding a little bit of extra time. For traditional pasta, 4 minutes works perfect, but in this case, because of the chickpea protein, we're going to be adding 2 minutes just to make sure it's a completely cooked, soft, and fluffy pasta as a result. So once it's done cooking, you'll want to vent it, and with a lot of liquid, a lot of times you'll want to cover the vent so it doesn't spew free liquid and make a huge mess, which is what we're doing here. Once it's completely vented, the pin will drop. You may have a red pin or a silver pin, as in this case, and when you take the lid off and check these, they should just be perfectly done. And you just want to strain them through a colander like we have, and then just transfer them over to one of your freeze dryer trays. 1 box or 8 ounces of dried pasta, once it's cooked, it will all fit on one tray, and then you just spread it out, and we're going to move it into the freeze dryer. And then we're just going to leave the door open so that excess steam can liberate from the vacuum chamber while we're cooking the next batch of pasta. Now, while the second batch was cooking, I got to thinking about it, and I wanted to make sure the noodles didn't stick or clump together and I would have to break them up later. So what I actually did is move these back to the colander, tossed about 2 teaspoons of avocado oil on the noodles, and then split the noodles onto 2 trays just to make sure that they would freeze dry fine and I wouldn't have noodles that freeze dried together and would have to break them up. I was looking for individual noodles as the final product. After having done this a few times, I may start trying to get a full 8 ounce of dried cooked pasta onto a single tray and just see how it turns out, because this way it turned out absolutely great, as you'll see here in just a second.
Okay, so we just finished the second batch, which gives us 16 ounces of dried pasta that has now been cooked, and so that's roughly 4 ounces dry per sheet. But we've now cooked this in the Instant Pot, and we've got all 4 sheets loaded up and ready to start the cycle. Alright, so about 18 hours and 50 minutes. So let's get this turned off and vented and take a look. Alright. Oh, they're definitely freeze dried. They're light and fluffy. Or how they taste. Yeah, they're good. I mean, for noodles. And they're not really stuck together, which is what I was hoping for, that they would be kind of loose. That way they rehydrate better than getting stuck together, you know, in clumps. So they all look really good. We'll probably put these up in quart mason jars just to make sure they are super dry because at some point in the future we're going to get the correct recipe formulated for the cheese sauce that can be powdered, so that then all these things can get rehydrated, you know, in the field, and you know, hydrate really well and really quickly. Yummy. All right, get these jarred up. Okay, so we got about 4 3/4 quarts filled full of the freeze-dried noodles, and now that the defrost cycle is done, I've added oxygen absorbers into the quart jars immediately before placing them in here. The rings are on, you know, pretty loosely, and so now we're just gonna close it up and get them vacuum sealed and ready for long-term storage and later use in backpacking meals. All right, we just let the pressure back into the vessel, and yeah, these are super loose on the rings. We took these down to, it was around 1500 mTOR when I stopped, but clearly those are vacuum sealed. So thanks for joining. I hope this information is helpful for you in your freeze drying journey. If you haven't taken the time to subscribe, click the subscribe button, and make sure to click the bell and select the option that gets you notifications every time we add new content to the channel. I'm also active on Snap, and sometimes you get things that just don't make it into the videos, so check out FrostySith on Snap. And that's it. Stay tuned for things coming up on the channel, new content, and we will be using these components in future actual full backpacking meals. So stay tuned for those, and remember, when you can, get up, get out, live a little. See ya. And the reason we're doing it this way instead of like if we were just trying to bulk prep food for long-term storage is that I want it already broken down into a size that's easy to split out into individual meals for backpacking. So I think this is quite a bit of